I'm still in the beautiful island of Leyte in the beautiful fortress of solitude known as the Bellis household. Mrs. Bellis is over here working out in the kitchen. She got her gym clothes on. I told her she's doing her workout in the kitchen sink. At least she laughed about that. I was just joking. And of course, Bellis Traveler is over here studiously looking at the television, checking out his latest venture.
Seeing if it was right. It's right now. It's uploading right now.
Okay. See, we were working on a little conundrum last night about a video that he was loading, and he had people watch it already, but it wasn't in the right format, and it had not been exported in the right format. We were trying to figure that out, and I had this brainchild of, hey, Bellis, I think this might be what it is, and turns out that's what it was. So, I'm not right
It was
a lot of the time, but I was right this time. So, you know, and thanks for the thumbs up there, whoever you are out there in the electronic universe. Appreciate it. I know that Philly's live. I know that Gino's still alive, and I don't mean to be stepping on anybody's toes, but I just wanted to get started because I'm not quite sure what I'm doing today. I might be taking another little walk down the road to visit a certain somebody, and I don't know why Mrs. Bella's over. She's smiling at that. I don't. She got that little grin on her face, a little smirk. But anyway, yeah, it's another nice day here. The sun is out here in Leyte. I'm sitting at the dining room table. Hey, Lowell, man. God bless you too, Lowell. Happy to see you, brother. I hope you're doing okay, my friend. And I hope you're taking care of yourself, man. And I'm still kind of bummed out about you being able to come over here, but it is what it is, man. I wanted to help you, but I just don't know how to anymore. And but please keep coming on here and keep being my friend, okay? I appreciate that. Michael, hello, good morning, Michael. I don't mean to pull you guys away from the other channels, but I appreciate you stopping by and saying hello and giving me the thumbs up. That keeps me motivated to keep doing this because, I told people before, and this is the honest truth, I never wanted to do YouTube. I'm still not sure I want to do YouTube, but what happens is you get on here and you start talking to yourself in front of the camera, and you start liking it sometimes, and then it starts becoming like a hobby, and then you want to get better at your hobby, and you want to perfect your hobby as you go along, and then there's a little bit of competitiveness in there to outdo yourself. It's like playing golf. Anybody play golf? Who are you competing against when you're playing golf? Really, in the end, you're competing against yourself, because you can go out and play golf by yourself, and you're still trying to get better. And you go to that next hole, you want to do better than the last hole, unless you got a hole in one, then you want to do the same. But I'm just saying, YouTube gets to be like that. And I notice with some of these people, and of course the big news today is pro-life traveler and Sim, and I don't really want to get into that today. I could, but I don't want to. I think Philly's covering that right now, probably real well and to the nth degree, and I'm not jumping on board that train. It is what it is. All you got to do is watch the news, and you can catch up on all that. You don't need to come to YouTube to catch up on it, because most people, and Philly, I'm not saying you're doing this, but most people, they just want, actually Philly's trying not to do that. Most people just want to be Maritas. They want to jump on board and ride that gravy train, just like anything that happens that's sensational on YouTube. Everybody wants to jump on that and maximize the benefit, just like the mainstream media. They want to maximize the benefit of the latest story. And I kind of just get a kick out of it. I just kind of but what's the bad part about it, these are real people, and these are real lives that are getting messed up, albeit it might be the fault of their own. But, we need to be sensitive to, there's other people that are being affected by this, and especially if there's children involved. Yeah, the guy might be an idiot, might have done some stupid stuff, but, I'm not going to hold his child to account for that. It's sad. Hopefully the child will live to learn, the sins of the father and all that other good stuff. Is that Ian or Ian? Ansari? Good morning. Hello, good morning from the Philippines. Where are you at? It might not be morning there. But welcome to the Colonel's Chronicles, and we're just sitting here. I've, oh, wow, my coffee's finished already. I guess I started this after I finished my coffee, but let me get that last drop. There we go. Got the last drop of the, yeah, my concoction that I make. And it's funny, I not grew up as an adult though, most of my life drinking straight black coffee, no sugar, no cream. Because, I was in the Army and we used to just get the little powder packets, that powdered coffee. And then we used to just open that packet up. I didn't even mix it. I just throw that packet in my mouth, took a sip of water. That was coffee. That was coffee for me back in the day in the Army. And at least when we were out doing that. And I remember as a kid, my dad was in the Army. We used to eat the MREs. Not the MREs. That's what I had was MREs. I'm talking about sea rations that came in a little box and had the little cans. I used to like when you get the little can that had the chocolate in it. Yeah, the little round chocolate. Anybody remember that? But anyway, thanks for all y'all. I see there's 14 people in here. I appreciate that. And thank you all for the thumbs up that gave it to me. That helps beat the algorithm and let YouTube know that the Colonel's still alive. And you know what? Saying I'm thankful for every day. Lately I've been feeling a little bit off here and there, but yeah, it is what it is. It's part of life, part of getting older, and part of aging. It's just the way it is. Joel, is it Jolie Womendorf? You're not from Central Pennsylvania by any chance, are you? How many years did you serve? I did 6 years, my friend. 6 years in the Army, and then, almost 24 years working for the Department of Justice, or injustice, depending on your perspective. Ah, Joel, okay, you're from Missouri. You're not a friend of James and Karen, are you? I don't know. I've seen you on my channel before. If you've been on here and I missed it, I sincerely apologize. But thank you for being here and listen to whatever I'm talking about, because I'm talking about a little bit of everything. Okay, well, that's no problem. I've actually been through Missouri. Let's see, how many years ago? Been a long time. It's been a hot minute. Probably the last time been to Missouri was when I lived in Texas. Probably the last time. I was stationed at Fort Hood once upon a time. And I don't know what that's all about, Simon, but thanks for the comment. And oh, you're new, Joel. Okay, you're not new, you're just new to the channel. And you're more than welcome here. We just talk about everyday life here and about whatever people want to talk about. And, I'm living in the Philippines. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, okay? I've been through Kansas City, but like I said, it's probably been 25 years or more. Maybe long, no. I've been longer than that. Probably about 30 years since I've been through there. But, I got a brother that lives in Alabama. So I head that direction, but not getting through there. And you keep on, Simon. If you keep trying, you'll get it right, man. You'll get that comment right eventually. And just know that we're all laughing at you. And if you're just trying to seek attention, you're getting a little bit of it. But yeah. So Joel, is it cold there in Kansas City? Thanks, Joel. Appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I saw that new subscription. I appreciate that, my friend. And but anyway, oh, it's not cold. So what's it like there? No snow down in Missouri yet. I remember living down south. Lived in Southeast Georgia. Oh, that's not bad, man. Freezing for me though. I'm here to tell you, no lie. Once it gets below 80, about 82, 80 degrees, the Colonel's feeling cold. I get cold, but almost 4 years up in Alaska about did me in for cold weather, and shoveling snow in the Northeast did me in for snow. Even Alaska, we were prepared for snow up there. It was just normal, and they took care of it. But when you live in West Virginia, like where I'm originally from, and I was there also as an adult in my mid-30s, you get tired. I remember we had so much snow that one year we were digging tunnels outside the front door. No lie, no exaggeration. The snow was up over the top of the car, and I had even had my van. My van was covered. I had a high top conversion van. It was covered, and we had trying to dig that stuff out. I mean, I didn't get to work for what 3 days, and I was working at a prison where you need to be at work, you know, because there's people stuck there, and it's an awful thing. And I remember driving in and wrecking my Brady Bunch station wagon at one time into a snowdrift, and they had to get a backhoe out to get me out. And I was upset about that. And I said, well, that's what I get for trying to come into work when it's not possible. But I felt guilty not being there because I knew guys were stuck on the shift. But that's just me. My grandma hunts in Alaska, or yeah, he shot a big moose. Yeah, man, I tell you what, I always wanted a moose when I was up there. Whenever I went moose hunting, we never saw the moose. Any other time, like if we're out on patrol or training or anything like that, you see moose, they come right up next to you. I mean, I was right next to a bull moose up there in Alaska, and I kid you not, 15 yards away. Or I'm in the Philippines, I would say 15 meters away, but it's closer than 15, probably 10 meters away. And he's just looking at me, chewing, eating, and, you know, and there I've got a, you know, I'm in the military, so I got a military weapon with blanks. And it's like, that sucks. I can't do anything about this moose. But then I go out hunting, you don't see a moose anywhere. We used to joke like, yeah, they knew when hunting season was up there in Alaska. But if you get a moose, you can fill your freezer. You're good for a year, you know, or more, or 6 months, depending on how much you eat. But yeah, I figured you meant grandpa when you said he. I said grandma, but I figured it out when you said he shot a big moose. Yeah, I loved it in Alaska. No, all joking aside, except it was cold. But the summer times made up for the winter being so cold. I was in Fairbanks, so Fairbanks is considered desert in Alaska, and it. So what happened in Fairbanks compared to, like, say, Anchorage or Juneau is Fairbanks gets a lot colder in the wintertime, but it's also a lot drier. So the snow is a dry snow, and sometimes it's a powder until it warms up. But in the wintertime or in the summertime, it also meant it got warmer. And not very often, but I remember a couple times when it got up to 90 degrees, and we were dying up there from the heat. But I was able to grow some awesome cauliflower, some awesome broccoli up there. More the broccoli than the cauliflower. Yeah, we did the broccoli. Did we try to? I think my neighbors did the cauliflower. Getting confused. But yeah, it was great. 7:13 p.m. That means it must be 9:14 here. Oh, so you're in Central Time. No. Yeah, you're in Central Time. There in Missouri. Should be. But I'm glad to see a new face, man. See a new name come up. That's kind of cool. I like that. New subscriber. You know, I just do different things in this channel, and I like to make fun of things. Like I got a kind of a warped sense of humor. I like to have conversations with people and joke around with them, and sometimes they don't. You know, they feed into it. Sometimes they don't. And but it's funny what people in the YouTube world, they see a video and they only watch part of it and they don't watch all of it, and then they make an assumption or they come to a conclusion based on part of what they saw without seeing the whole thing. And my videos are kind of like that. You got to get to the end to realize I'm just joking with somebody. But anyway, no, Jenny Lynn's not my girlfriend. Everybody thinks that, but she's not. If you watch my videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, but I don't know. I don't know, Joel. Where you lead me there? I think you hit. I think you tapped send without finishing that. But I see Womendorf, and that reminds me of some guys that I worked with up in central Pennsylvania. That's why I asked if that's where you're from, because that reminded me of them. I thought it would have been funny if you were him or part of that family. I would have got a kick out of that. But I spent quite a few years up in Pennsylvania, and not where I'm originally from, but kind of spent some time there and had family there because of my adopted mom. That's where she's from. She's from Lancaster County, where all the Amish are. So what do you do there in Missouri there? Is it Joe? Or is it Joel? And you got a Y in there too. Is it Joel? I don't know. You gotta help me out with that one. I'm probably really butchering your name. But hello, Lauren. I'm not even gonna try to get Lauren. Is that Lauren Guerrero? Where are you from, Lauren? That's kind of a Spanish name. Do you know who's Scott? You're losing me there, Joe or Jolie. Oh, you're in the Philippines. Very nice. I'm over here on Leyte. I don't live here, but I'm visiting with friends. I'm with Bella's Traveler if you want to check out his channel. And I'm also friends with James and Karen and several other people, Gino and other people on here that I thought were friends but don't act like it. And but yeah, where out in the Philippines are you, Lauren? Do you know who Scott is? Well, there's several Scotts, okay? Are you mean Scott and Isa? Um, there's other Scotts, but I think Scott and Isa is who I know from my channel. Um, yeah, you got to help me out. Scott Womendorf. No, the Womendorf that I worked with. Man, what was his first name? It wasn't Scott. Was it Scott? No. I don't know. He worked in the federal prison system. I think he made it. I think he made it to lieutenant, I believe, and he retired. Hi, Niels. Good morning there, my friend. Top of the morning to you. Were you guys over on Gino's channel? I hope he's finished. I think he was getting near the end. And hi, Josh. Josh Wilson's in the house. He says hello. Great to have you guys here. There's Scotty Boy, regular guy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not big on. I haven't watched that channel a lot. I know James is more familiar. Bellis probably is too, because Bellis knows everybody. And Bellis is getting his channel back on track. A lot of people don't realize about Bellis Traveler. He was big on YouTube back in the day, and then he kind of had a falling out with something about that, and he got bad attitude towards YouTube, I guess. But he's back now, and I'm looking over at. Let's keep looking at it. He's standing over there, and but he's back, and his channel is going strong. But he does need some help to get him back on track, because I think some of the algorithms are still working against him. And just like me, he needs watch hours. He needs people to watch his videos. And he's got a huge farm here, and he's doing a lot of things. He does a lot of things for the valley around here where he lives, and the people here. Got a great wife, and I was just waiting to see if she's going to give me a look or not when I said that. And she's ignoring me. Yeah, she's making us breakfast over there, and here I'm harassing her a little bit. But he's got a great wife. Oh no, he's going to photobomb me. That's Bella's Travel in all his glory, or unglory.
Yeah,
I think of that movie. What was it the movie Inglourious Bastards? I think they could say that about Bellis and I. I'm not sure.
it's working perfect.
We're just normal people. Oh, good. Okay, we got him. We got his channel straightened out, or his last video straightened out. You need to delete that last part off of there.
I'm gonna delete it all.
Okay. Well, excuse me, folks. Let me just remember to take off that end screen that's on there. That pops up that says cap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna delete the whole thing. So.
Okay, but that's working great though. We got his issue with this video fixed. That's fantastic. That's great. Josh Wilson, yeah, watched the first half of Gino. Yeah, I was watching Gino, watched a little bit of Philly, and then I went back to Gino, and who's ignoring you? Oh, that's Mrs. Bellis, but she's not ignoring me. She hears everything I say. She just trying to not to acknowledge, my existence, and it's okay. I'm used to that. It's much of like the rest of the women in the Philippines. They don't want to acknowledge my existence. No, I'm kidding. I actually get a lot of attention over here. I think it's because of this, especially when the sun reflects off of it. Uh-oh, I see some white hair coming. Yeah. Yeah, I keep telling everybody I have hair. I just shave it off. She didn't believe me, but see, I was letting it grow the other day, and yeah, it was getting got about that long, and I shaved it off. I said, see, I can grow hair. I just choose not to. But Niels just walked in the house. What's it like outside there, Niels? Have you watched Stranger Things? Lauren, I have not watched a full episode of Stranger Things. I've seen advertisements for it, but I'm not going to lie to you. I don't watch TV anymore. I really don't. Once in a while, I watch stuff on YouTube, but my TV sitting in my house in Iloilo right now is just sitting there in the box. I haven't even unpacked it from when I moved, and I don't know if I will or not. I don't know because I think I'm going to move again. I moved into that house that I rented with the intention of I'm not staying here. So, I've unpacked almost everything, but I didn't unpack the TV for some reason. And you gotta polish it. Yeah, well, I could do that, but the hair would crack the wax, so I don't know. Funny dude, Niels. You're a funny dude, man. I'm gonna give you a razor and show you how it's done. Mrs. Bellis is like that teacher from the Peanuts. Can hear her but never see her. You never wah 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. That's probably how most of you watch my YouTube channel. You probably think I'm like wah 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 wah. At least she's laughing. That's funny, Josh. That's one of the. You know what? Can I pin that comment? That's one of the best comments I've ever had. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pinning that. There we go. That's great. Mrs. Bellis is like that teacher from the Peanuts. Can hear her but never see her. That's I love it, man. Josh, you got like my number one comment since I started YouTube. That's hilarious. Because here's the thing: if you guys knew Mrs. Bellis, it would be even more funnier. Because she's really not. She just doesn't like to be on the camera, and I get it. Because I used to not like it either, but I got used to it in my job. But anyway, that's a great comment, and I pinned that. That's hilarious. Neil Dark, LOL. Okay. I'm not hungry, but I need to eat something. Well, Niels, I tell you what, man. You're still over there where you have stuff readily available, man. If I want something, I got to go to the sorry store and hope they got something I want. Lauren, what games do you play? Well, Lauren, I don't play games anymore, except, once in a while I do something stupid on my phone with, a little puzzle game or whatever. But I used to play, and I wasted a lot of money on a game I think it's no longer in existence, but I played Throne. What was it called? Throne. Something at War or whatever. Kingdoms at War. And I was in the top group on that game and wasted a whole lot of money on that game. That was that's what I did for a hobby, for fun. But I have other hobbies, and I concentrate on other hobbies now. My latest one, you guys are going to laugh at this. My latest one are the little Tamiya racing cars. Well, no, my latest one is YouTube. But before that, I was getting into the little Tamiya racing cars. I haven't raced any of them, but I still want to get my own track set up. If I ever get a place big enough, I want to set up my own track. And I have cars built already, and tune up the little motors and do all that. But because they're into it over here, and they're into it in the U.S. certain areas too. And I would like to get into it where I have a big enough place where other foreigners, and Filipinos too, can come and practice on the track and tune up their cars and maybe have a tournament, maybe have races and what. I don't know. That's just another one of my little crazy dreams that I have or hobbies that I have. We'll see what happens if it ever. I doubt it'll ever come to fruition, but I've done a lot of thinking about it. I just don't have all the knowledge, but I like building the little cars because they're cool and you can paint. It's like when you're a little kid building the Revell model cars and stuff. But these are nice because they're all snapped together. You don't have to glue anything. It's kind of cool. I think James' motorcycle was sabotaged intentionally. Well, Lou, you would fit right in with James with the conspiracy theories and whatnot. I love it, man. James, anytime something happens, man, he's on top of it, man. He's like, this happened because of this. But no, I think what happened was what really happened with that when it got dumped on the boat, on the ship, I think it laid on its side too long. And if it had been picked up right away, might have been all right. And who knows, those guys in uprighting it, and they 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 secured it up on the top instead of securing it to the ground. They secured it on some pipes up above. Who knows? They might have dumped that whole bike upside down. There's no telling. The way he had fuel and stuff coming out of it, it's almost like maybe they turned it upside down in the effort to get it secure. Who knows what happened? But he'll get it all fixed. Yeah, his XR is a carburetor. And but I told him, I talked to him this morning. I was like, look, just change out everything. Change your air filter, change your fuel filter, change your oil, change your oil filter. Just get everything that you can get done on it. Put a new spark plug in, yeah, because he believes that's they put an old spark plug in the last place at Palumpon where he had him work on it. So be as it may, I just told him just redo the whole thing. It's not going to cost him much money, and start from scratch, and then see what happens. And I think now it seems like there's going to need a valve adjustment because he's got a little bit of tapping going on, which is really strange. It's a Honda motor, and most Honda motors are pretty indestructible. And so he'll get it straight. He'll get it straight. He'll take it back home there and take it to the shop he usually goes to, and they'll get it straight for him. Yeah, Neil says, keep on dreaming, something will happen. Yeah, you know what, Neil? There's a lot of truth to that statement. It doesn't mean what's going to happen is what you want to happen. But something's definitely going to happen. I appreciate all the thumbs up, folks. And I appreciate those of you that are sticking around for whatever I'm talking about. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm talking about a little bit of everything. Hey, Fox, good morning. Welcome, Fox. Fox with the hands. Fox hands. Yeah. Appreciate it, brother. Is James rude to one of these guys that handled James's bike? I seriously doubt it. James is not rude to Filipinos. At least I've never seen it. I've never seen it. The only people that James might be rude to are people that talk bad about him behind his back and aren't willing to do it to his face. Because I'm kind of the same way. Yeah, Fox, I see you there, man. I see you, Foxy boy. Colonel Hapa says, good morning, Hapa, or good morning from the Philippines. Norm, welcome, Norm. Yeah, I'm getting to know Norm more. He's on Bellis's channel a lot, and Bellis speaks very highly of you, mate. Hey, mate. Yeah, hey, mate, back to you. And you're down there in Australia, right, Norm? And if I remember correctly. Leo, where you been, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Colonel, nice to see you on live. God bless, much love. Yeah, Leo, I haven't seen you in a minute. I haven't seen you in a minute. It's good to see you again. Thanks for the comment. Fox, finally, we're talking about James. I believe someone tampered with it. The water, then the next guy thought that's not enough and pushed it over. Yeah, Fox, who knows, man? I really think it's just a compounding effect of different things because he pressure washes that motorbike, and we really thought maybe the water water got up underneath the spark plug or whatever. Couldn't have been water in the fuel too, and that's not anybody. It's just buying bad fuel over here. Yeah, it was a spark plug, and that's one thing that it was. But there's more going on than that, Bellis. But anyway, he'll get it straight. Chappie, hello, Colonel. Hello, Chappie. Back at you. Hapa, who is this Gino guy? I keep hearing other expats say that name. Is he an expat? Yes, he is, Hapa. Just check out this channel. It's called Dazzle TV. Dazel TV. That's my man Gino. Okay, Gino is Filipino. Okay, but he was in the U.S. Army. U.S. Army. I'm sorry, Gino. I wish you were in the Army, man. But he was in the Air Force. He's retired from the U.S. Air Force. So Gino's just as much American as any of the rest of us. But he's living here in the Philippines, back home, and with his lovely wife Dazzle, and that's why it's called Dazzle TV, because Dazzle is just a sweetheart. And what is it? Her mom and her sister, and they're all living there up in New Manchia. And Gino has a great channel. He's on every morning, Dazzle TV. And when you hear people talk about Gino, that's who Gino is. So check out Dazzle TV, and you'll see Gino on there. He's here early in the morning here in the Philippines. He's on there every day, and many, many people watch him. And you can get a lot of information from him about the Philippines, about Calibo, because that's near where they live, Numancia. And I'm not looking away this. Boy, I'm sure getting. I need to go like there. We go. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's more video friendly. But anyway, um, boy, YouTube will make you vain. It will make you vain. Just not care so much about that. But look at man, I'm getting old, man. Okay, Norm. Yeah, I'm in Sydney. Yeah, Norm. I kind of knew Australia. I was just, we got trust with verification. Just verifying that because sometimes I get it mixed up. I get it twisted. Hapa, thank you, Colonel. Hapa, I appreciate you being. I appreciate everybody that comes here. Unless you're a hater, and if you're a hater, well, I appreciate the comment because it helps me out. But I might not like what you're saying. I might snap back at you. Leo, because I got my gallstones removed, still in pain. Oh, wow. Yeah, I haven't had that done, but my father did, so I'm familiar with that surgery. Wow, you were under the weather for a while. Wow. Well, I hope the pain meds kick in, and I hope you get healed up, Leo, all the way, and get back to being your normal self, and I'll see you on here more, I hope, because I appreciate you being here. You've always been very kind to me. I appreciate that. Josh Wilson says we're gonna guess sugar in the tank, but I imagine it's locked. It's not that. I think it's just too much water, and the way he pressure washed it, he got up underneath the cap on the spark plug, and it's carbureted. So who knows? It's any number of things it could have been, but he'll get it straight. And he says that they adjusted his valves before, which I thought was really strange. It's a Honda motor. Most Honda and the technician at Honda factory will tell you, don't go in and mess with what we got. We tune those things at the factory. We've worked many years to get the motors the way they are, but people like to go in, they like to tinker with them, and they like to adjust this and adjust that. And in the effort of doing something good, they end up screwing up something that was already good. That's my 2 cents on that. Don't be messing with the valves and all that stuff on the motor. But you get these mechanics over here in some of these countries, and they think they know better, and they can make it. And they want, I'm going to adjust the. Well, you adjust the valves. Well, check it out. Now you got to go in and adjust the valves again. And that's not James's fault. That's these backyard mechanics wanting to be smarter than everybody else. But I think this was actually at a Honda shop, so I shouldn't say that. Robert Wingate, I haven't seen you in a minute too. Robert, good to see you. Good day, mate. How's things going? Well, it's going. I'm just sitting here, chillaxing here, being lazy. Had my double cup of coffee here. I love these big mugs, man. That's great, especially tea too. But Gino got me turned on to this Copica Blanca, and of course, I got to put a little bit of extra condensed milk in there, and oh my goodness, that's better than anything Starbucks puts out. Not good for you, but neither is Starbucks. That's just the way it is. You and me both, my friend from Chappie. Yep, exactly. How are you enjoying Leyte? Hap, I love Leyte. I'm seriously thinking that I could live here very easily. I won't have the perks of Iloilo and the shopping of Iloilo unless I drive down to Ormoc or take the big trek over to Tacloban. But why would I do that when Ormoc's not that far from here? And but anyway, yeah, I mean, I could live here. I lived in San Juan Batangas with nothing for 2 years, so it actually would be nicer to live here than there. Less traffic here. I will say this: most of the people like I went walking yesterday. People driving by me, they're giving me that greasy, surly look, but nobody was untowards towards me. Nobody was impolite. Everybody was still friendly. And, there's some unsavory characters running around on Leyte, but as long as they're unsavory to themselves and with themselves, and they leave me alone, I'm good. It doesn't bother me. You be yourself. If you want to be hateful, be hateful. You're wrong, but it's up to you. But I'm enjoying Leyte to answer that question. Thanks, Leo. You're very welcome, Colonel. Leo's always been polite to me and always been very, very kind and very friendly. I don't know you personally, Leo, but I feel like you're a friend either way. Panay Hart, hi, Colonel. Hi, Panay Hart. Thanks for stopping by. Always appreciate it when you show up also. I appreciate everybody. But Panay Hart is a special person. She's so kind to everybody, That's great. Norm, I love Northern Samar, but no city. It's so hard to obtain things sometimes. Have to use Lazada. Yeah, yeah, a lot. Yeah, exactly. And when I was living, I haven't done any Lazada at all since I moved to Iloilo, mainly because I've been traveling and you got to stick around to get your deliveries. So, but in San Juan Patangas, where I used to live, oh, Lazada loved me. I'm like, I was on their like, frequent flyer, frequent customer list or something. I don't know. Yeah, they loved me. I spent so much money in Lazada, just getting stuff. And at one time, I had a family living with me at one time that I was taking care of. So, 3 children and whatnot. So I could order a lot of things from Lazada and for my cooking because I like to cook some of my American foods and stuff. Hapa says, if you decided to move to Leyte, what steps would you take? Oh, there's so many Hapa. Hapa, first of all, I'd have to find a place to live because I rent right now. So I'd have to find a place to rent and make sure that that place has what I need and has a place to park my vehicles and make sure it's large enough for all my tools and everything that I carry around with me and make sure everything there is working properly. And then I would have to figure out, do I want someone to transport my household goods and stuff over to the new place, or do I want to try to do it myself? Because the cat's out of the bag. That I've ordered a multi-cab, a van, and I did that about a month and a half ago, and I've been keeping a secret on it. But old Mr. Bellis, he outed me the other day by mistake, and let everybody know I was getting one because he has a multi-cab. But I had thought about that multi-cab for a while because I met an American fella over in Iloilo, and he had a really nice van type one, and it was exactly kind of what I was looking for. And talking to him about it, I said, you know what, I'm going to order one. So I did. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks to get it. It's being constructed in Cebu. But anyway, back to your question. Yeah, then either take several trips. I'd have to go by ferry, but I prefer just getting one truck and doing it all at the same time. But my move from San Juan to Leyte was not a good move, and I would not recommend that trucking company to anyone. And I'm not even going to mention their name. I'll just say that yeah, I was not happy. All the promises made and this, that, and the other. And then I have 2 old guys that show up and they see my stuff and tell me that they're too tired to load the truck. I'm like, what? And I call the owner and, oh, I'm sorry, the owner of the trucking company. And yeah, I was not happy. I've been moving my whole life, but that was probably the worst one I've had. And yeah, I was not happy at all. So let's see. But yeah, and then really that's it. Just getting on the boat and having everything moved over here. And with the multi-cab, either have somebody drive it for me or I drive it myself and get on the boats. But I think, I don't know, I'm getting kind of lazy in my old age. I might just hire find somebody I trust and give them some money and do it, make that trip for me. I don't know. We'll see. All right, Robert Wingate. I drink Robert Tim's espresso once a day. Well, I'll give you a jolt. Lou, Colonel, you have tattoos. That's a good question. I'm kind of wondering, is there a motive behind your question? Before I answer that, I'm just curious if there's a motive behind that. If you've watched me anytime on the different live streams or whatever, you would kind of have that answer. But let me just give me a minute on that. Let me think about that one. Kind of answered your question right there. Where are your stuffs at right now? I'm in Iloilo, Panay Heart. I rent a house in Iloilo. All my stuff's right there. Hapa sounds like a lot of work, but also a big adventure. Moving is always a lot of work, but I've been doing it my whole life, and I'm so used to it. But yeah, it is a lot of work, especially if you've never done it before. It's only frustrating with things that have value to you get broken, and then moving can be frustrating. Ted Behold, good morning, Colonel and all. Good morning, Ted. I saw you over there on Gino's channel, but good morning again to you. Panay Heart, I am sorry, Colonel. Philippines is so different, but I am pretty sure of you will find good Filipino workers. Oh, Panay Heart, there's good Filipino workers everywhere. And it's just that this company, the female owner of the company, I don't know what she was thinking. I sent her pictures of everything that I had and whatnot, and I don't even think it was her fault. I think the workers, they were just two guys that, they were as old as me, if not older, and I got some heavy stuff. I have heavy boxes and things, and I told her that before the move. She should have sent some younger fellas, or at least one young fella, to help out the older guy. But it was frustrating. Yeah, the driver. I'm not gonna lie, he was lazy, but that's not everybody, and that's not indicative of most Filipinos, because most Filipinos are not that I've met are not like that. You come over here to see Bellis and his workers are not lazy, not at all. Now granted, they're getting compensated, but it doesn't matter. Everybody wants to be compensated for the work they do, and they are not. Yeah, most Filipinos are not lazy. Now you're gonna see people resting and whatnot. We all like to rest, but that doesn't mean that we're lazy. And they're definitely not lazy. But this guy on this particular day, yeah, he didn't want to work. And I told him, dude, that's what I'm paying you for. You need to work, man. I still ended up loading that truck, and I had my neighbors help, and it was crazy. And I told the owner, I said, why did I hire you if I got to do the work myself? Same with unloading it, because it was the same guys. I was just like, you got to be kidding me. But anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, you don't need to apologize at Panay Heart. You're not responsible for them, and I know that that's not indicative of most Filipino people at all. Most are hard workers. Let's see, Lou. I always wanted to get a tattoo from the places I visited. For example, I always wanted to get a tattoo of a Carabao bull. That's up to you, man, and where you want to get that tattoo. Uh, but anyway, I'm getting back to the tattoos. Hold on one sec. Got to go to town, do some shopping, catch up with you later. Good day, mate. All right, Robert. Good day to you too, mate. And have a good day shopping. Don't spend all your money. It's always good to check reviews of company if possible. Yeah, Ted, we checked. And if it gets good reviews, it gets good reviews. What are you going to do? But you always got that bad apple in the bunch. Yeah, I get accused of that whenever I complain about it. So, oh, you didn't do your due diligence. Oh, you didn't do this. Oh, you should have done that. You should have done this. Come on, man. I ain't totally stupid, but you can't always rely on reviews. They're not always indicative also of the overall picture and of the individual bad apples. It happens. It just happens. That's the way it is. Okay, Panay Hart, before I read all those, okay, everybody wants to know yes, I have tattoos, okay? I do have tattoos, and I don't show them off, but I will put them on here. Yeah, and I've had, most of that's from America, some of that's from Thailand, but the cross and what that means to me and the symbolism in the cross, tree of life, symbols of eternities, that everything, all my tattoos except for one have spiritual meanings to me. And I got some over here and all that and whatnot, and yeah, and I'm not going to show you the rest of them. I'm covered. But I started back in my army days, and it just is what it is. I just tell people don't judge me based on my tattoos, but all my tattoos except for this one, which is near where I near where I was born in West Virginia. Reminds me. I was feeling nostalgic one day, and I wanted to be. Yeah, I was listening to country roads because I'm from West Virginia, and I thought, okay, I'm getting a tattoo of my home, and so I got a grist mill over here, and it was also covering up something else. But it is what it is. I've gotten tattoos on top of tattoos, but I can't do them anymore. It hurts my skin is very thin now as I'm aging, and I mean I can bump into something and I'll start bleeding. But that's part of getting older. And the tattoos, yeah, I've wanted more, but I don't need them. It's just a waste of money. Okay, Panay Hart, back to you. She might have a problem to find people too. We have issues with fellows too. I just watched a show the other day. A Filipino celebrity was left by their own nanny without saying goodbye. Yeah, I mean, stuff happens, and not everybody's good everywhere you go, even in the Philippines, even in America, even Australia, wherever. Not everybody's good people, but there are good people. But I heard, okay, they went to Senator's YouTube channel, they paid 3 months in advance. Well, it's a loss. They can't take back the money. The nanny got nothing. Wow. Wow. It's a gamble and a risk sometimes. Sure is. Don't judge the cover by the book, right, Colonel? Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, doesn't that usually go the other way around? Don't judge the book by the cover? But yeah, yeah, you're funny, Ted. We got to hang out sometime. This is from Panay Hart. Philippines is beautiful, and eventually you will find easily things that will work out. Panay Hart, most of the stuff I do, it works out. It just doesn't always work out the way we want it to. But it's going to work out one way or the other. I'm not complaining. I mean, life is life. Life's about choices, and you have to accept what happens from the choices that you make. Hapa says we hired some workers to do a job on our roof, and they were being paid by the hour. It turns out they were just relaxing up there instead of finishing the job. Yeah, supervision, trust by verification. Been there, done that, seen it. Well, look who showed up here. Skip, good morning to you, brother. Brother in many ways. Hey, Colonel Skipper here. Good morning. Yeah, Skip. Appreciate you stopping by, man. I know you're a busy man and got a lot on your plate. And I appreciate you coming and saying good morning. Good morning to you too, sir. Hope to see you soon. I mean that sincerely. Josh says, Mrs. Bellis is like, oh, well, that's my pinned comment. I was trying to read that again. I got to the bottom and started reading my pinned comment. Oh my goodness, showing my age. Panay Heart at home. I'm honestly having anxiety. Move back to my home. I must admit, USA has given so much confidence, but there's a lot of things I can get in the Philippines that I needed more than here in USA. Yeah, Panay Heart, there's always anxiety anytime you make a move or you make any change in life, even if you're coming back to something familiar. That's the part that can relieve some of the anxiety, knowing that you're coming back home to something familiar, but there's still the anxiety of getting from point A to point B and all the things that you have to do to make that happen. So I understand it. I really do understand it. I'd like to say it gets easier, and in some aspects it does get easier the more you do it. However, the anxiety of the actual move, that never changes. That's always going to be there. So you have to learn how to deal with it as best you can. And the best way for me to do it is just preparation, prior preparation. Even when there's wrinkles, if you're prepared for those contingencies, it makes the move easier. And just have everything set up. Don't. If you're going to do a move, don't just wing it. Like, oh, okay, well, we'll worry about that when you get there. Well, some things maybe, but the big things, no. You gotta have all your, as they say, the cliche, ducks in a row, to make sure everything goes as smooth as possible. Let's see. You will get a lot of helpers there. Yeah, I didn't have this last move. I didn't have if my neighbors hadn't showed up. And God bless them too for that, and especially her one sister who was strong. This little skinny lady, but talk about that lady was stronger than I am. She was strong as an ox, and yeah, she helped and she lifted some of those boxes. I'm like, holy smokes, I can't lift that box. How's she doing? But she did it. She did it. It's unbelievable. Okay, you can do it, Panay. Absolutely, I got confidence in Panay Heart also. But isn't that with anybody? You can do it if you do something, if you set your mind to it, and if you really, really want to, you can make it happen. Skip, our future is going to be bright. Buckle up and get ready. God is awesome. Amen to that, Skip. God is awesome. And sometimes for some people, their God is too small, and sometimes we make our God too big. Something to think about. But yes, God is an awesome God here. Yeah, I can't sing, but I love that song too. Yeah, God is awesome, and if you don't have some type of relationship, hopefully it's good with God, you guys need to look into that. He will open up doors to you if you seek His guidance. That's the truth of it all. And if you want, you can talk to me about that personally sometime. And we can get things right between you and God. Awesome YouTube. Unsubscribe me. Anyways, hello there. They unsubscribed you? What in the world, Bruce? Or is it Carol? Or is it Bruce Carroll? Why they unsubscribe you? I don't know. Don't tell me that YouTube's hating on the Colonel already. But if they are, it's understandable. Thank you at Hapa. It's from Panay Heart. It's a lot of processing. Been there for 18 years. Yeah, Panay Heart. It's you gotta you gotta reverse the gears. You know, reverse the gears. Start that but you'll be fine. You will be fine. Skip says life is all about significance, not just success. Well, exactly, Skip. And for me, I like to remain humble, and I agree with what you're saying. Um, but I like to stay in the back of as far as prominence and insignificant. As long as my significance is because of God and I'm being used by Him, I'm good. And what I've noticed is if you're in that situation, you're going to have success. And as they say, the blessings come from above. And I've always felt like the blessings that I've had in life is not because of anything I've done or anything I've deserved. And it keeps me humble because every time I get cocky or my ego starts getting big, start getting a big head, start getting proud, guess what? I'm I'm made low again. I'm humbled and I realize, hey, you know what? Everything I have is not because of me. It's not because of me. It's because of blessings and honestly, I think a lot of the blessing I have is because of my parents. And my parents were very godly people, and my father was a very godly man. And even after retiring from the Army chaplaincy, got into missionary work. We always supported missionaries, just the way. That's why we never had any money. I remember my brother getting mad about that one time. My dad was like, "Well, get over it. It's not your money." you know. And my brother's still salty about that, but my brother's a different guy, and he's come around, and I'm very happy for that. Thank the Lord for that too. Norm, it's amazing seeing them lift stuff twice their body weight. Very impressive. Yeah, it is, Norm. But that's all over Asia, all over Southeast Asia. I remember the story of my parents living in Okinawa, and they ran their Datsun, little four-door Datsun, off the road into a rice paddy, and my dad was like, "Yeah, these four Okinawa guys came up, lifted it up out of the rice paddy, carried it over the road, and set it back down." He said it's the wildest thing he's ever seen. Couldn't believe it. But he goes, they picked that car up like it was nothing. Now, granted, it was a lightweight car, but even so. Let's see. Hold on, I lost my train of thought there where I was at in the chat. Forgive me for that. Hapa says, do you think there are more pros than cons about the city of Leyte as opposed to Iloilo? Well, okay, first of all, Hapa, Leyte is an island, and there are cities in Leyte. So the big cities that I've seen so far is Tacloban and Ormoc, and they're cities. Ormoc. I don't know, Mrs. Bellis. Would you say Ormoc is a big city or? Yeah, Ormoc reminds me of Iloilo, but there is an SM also. There's an SM, right? Okay, so I haven't been to the SM because from what my understanding is that Bella's Traveler doesn't like the SM over there. But anyway, yeah, the pros and cons. Iloilo, I think the biggest con in Iloilo that I can think of is the traffic. If you're driving a four-wheeled vehicle, if you're on a motorbike, traffic is a non-issue for the most part. For me, anyway, on my little motorbike, it's a non-issue. But when I get this four-wheeled vehicle, this multi-cab van I'm getting, yeah, I'm gonna be stuck in that traffic, and I will not be happy. Will not be happy, but it's just part of life. The pros in Iloilo is having the ability to buy the things that you want to buy, have access to material things, foods and things like that for cooking and stuff. For me, there's S&R there. I mean that's the pros and whatnot. And the people are all laid back on the island of Panay. Over here in Leyte, I wouldn't say that people are so laid back. It's a little bit of a different attitude over, but it's just beautiful. If you like lush jungle and jungle mountains and plains and Leyte is beautiful. It is beautiful, and I very easily could live over here. But there's an element over here that you need to be aware of in Leyte, and just live accordingly. And if you have a Filipino family that looks out for you and takes care of you, you won't have any issues at all. Panay Heart, I was amazed. I hope I didn't miss a comment. I was amazed how Japanese workers are hard workers. When we lived in the Philippines and they did our moving, you will be impressed. They don't rest. One person can carry a heavy furniture. Absolutely. But you know, Panay Heart, I think I've seen Filipinos do that. So, and Thailand, let's see. I've seen some Thai work hard too, and be able to lift twice their weight. You know, yeah, I'm not going to say any more than that. Bellis is in the house. Skip, is Karen expecting Colonel? Well, Skip, we don't know. She was having issues. And you know, I had 4 children. So I'm not going to say I've seen it all, but I've seen a lot. And sometimes when you think you're sick, you're not really sick, or you're having stomach, you're not really sick, you're pregnant. And so we were teasing Karen about that. But I imagine that she'll be checking just to check off the boxes of what might be going on, because she's got something going on, and to get her physically right, she's going to have to go to the doctor and get checked up. And I'm assuming that that's going to be part of the checkup, or she'll be testing herself. But to be honest, Skip, I don't know. We made that video as a joke because she was like doing this stuff, and she's got this concoction that she drinks when she's sick, and I'm like, you know, maybe you're pregnant, Karen. You know, are you sure that's okay to be? And of course, I got a comment from, of course that's okay. Like I don't know anything about pregnancy, and I was just like, see the humor in it, folks. Sometimes you got to see the humor in life, and don't take everything so seriously. But to answer your question, Skip, I don't know. Hopefully, James will let us know soon. Honestly, I hope she is, and for them, I hope that she is, because I know that they definitely love children, and that they want to have a family. So, and because I've talked to James, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but no, I think he's put it out on YouTube and on channel. They want to have a family, they want to have children. So, for their sake, now it's going to change their life. And I try to tell James, buckle up, you know, get ready, because if she is, your life is about to change in ways that you can only imagine. So we'll see, Skip, and hopefully they'll keep us posted, brother. Let's see, Bruce Carroll. We watch James and Karen and Jenny, and we watch y'all. We're at Washington State. Well, thank you for the folks in Washington State. Always have Aruco TV on the live show. I appreciate that. Is that Bruce and Carol then? Or Bruce? I appreciate that. Thank you very much, and thank you for giving me some of your valuable time. And don't ever forget, folks, you don't ever think that most of us people here on YouTube, we know that your time's valuable. And so we don't want to have total nonsense and be talking about, you know, falsehoods. And at least I don't want to be putting out content. I like to put out funny content sometimes and humorous stuff. But in my heart of hearts, I'm a serious individual, and I have serious opinions, and I'm very opinionated. Not all my opinions are correct, but that's what makes me the Colonel. You know, makes me who I am. You know, but I'm also man enough to admit that, hey, I'm not always correct about everything. But that doesn't mean I'm going to change my mind either. I don't know about that. Maybe I need help. Maybe I need some professional help. I don't know. But Bruce Kell, thank you all for being here, and everyone else too that stick with us. I appreciate it. Panay Hart says, let me correct. We lived in Japan and moved back to the USA. Japanese workers did all the packing of our stuff and lifting. They're amazing. And Panay Hart, I know that from my parents because they live in Okinawa. And yeah, they spoke very highly. And the stuff that they brought back from Okinawa and stuff is, I think my dad said they didn't have anything broken. Maybe one thing got broken, but he said it's just amazing. They come in there and they pack everything up and they do it all real quick and done and very proficient. So I can only imagine, you experienced that also. And I would tend to agree with you. I haven't personally experienced that except through my parents. But I would tend to say that you're absolutely correct. I don't think anyone can argue with that. Okay, Jen, good morning. Skip, yes, indeed. Yes, Skip, I want to be great. We'll all be celebrating. And can't wait for you to get over here and celebrate with us, my brother. Let's see. I met Skip on a video call, folks, and what a nice gentleman. And he and I think a lot alike about a great many things, so I respect him as much as he may respect my humble life. Okay, Norm, I'm not religious, but still respectful. Those who are attend church with my fiance, but when there, but seeing as it's in Waray, it's a bit hard to follow. Yeah, Norm, I'm not religious either, Norm, but I do believe in having a spiritual life and in a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. But I don't consider myself religious because you can be religious about anything. Some people are religious about their money. Some people are religious about their house. In Thailand, some people are religious about their car, so much so that, if they drive a certain vehicle, they think you need to bow down and do a Y to their vehicle. If you cut them off or what, I used to just shake my head. I'm just like, there's no way in the world I'm bound down to a car. Give me a break. And just because you have a higher end car, what you consider a higher end car, it doesn't make you a better person than me because I'm driving a motorbike. And quite honestly, Mercedes Benz, BMWs, they are not the cars they used to be. So get over yourself. But anyway, don't get me started on that. But yeah, I don't ever tell anyone to be religious because just being religious doesn't mean it's about spiritual things. But I'm all about a personal relationship. And I don't preach and beat people over the head with it. But if you ask me, I'm going to tell you. You know, I'm going to tell you what I believe. It doesn't mean, I'm not telling you got to believe what I do. You should, but I'm not going to make you because that's between you and God. Josh, super private, hates social media, farm vids, cover here. Bellis Travers talking about Mrs. Bellis. Just because Mrs. Bellis doesn't like to have her face on the videos usually and everything, don't get it twisted. That's a great lady right there. And she's still over there cooking breakfast. I'm just hoping she doesn't put raw onions in my stuff this morning. But she probably will anyway. Just to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Instigator. Nah, she's a really good lady, good person. Anybody that can put up with Bellis, that's a good person. Don't tell Bellis I said that. I think he stepped away. Yeah, he's walking by, so I know he's not looking at the chat. But yeah, anybody that can put up with Bellis Traveler, you're a special individual, including myself. He's ignoring me. Excuse me. Excuse me, folks. But that wasn't good. Anybody that's getting up there in my age, sometimes you cough up stuff you don't want to swallow. You don't want to swallow. That was the case there. I apologize for that. Let's see. Significance, meaning what are we doing to make a difference? Yes, Skip. Yep, exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah, and I took that a different way than you were going with that. So thanks for clarifying that. And, what are we called to do? We're called to make a difference and to be a difference. Right? Light in a world of darkness, salt in the world. Yeah. Thanks for that, Skip. You said it better than I could have said it. My first duty station, Camp Hansen, Okinawa. Yeah, Skip, I can't remember where my dad was. Where were they at? I don't remember. But my parents, my dad's older than you. So, and he's passed away now, but I don't remember the name. It'd take me too long to think of it. I'd have to do some research. I can't remember where they're at. But he was a chaplain there. So he was a chaplain on one of the chapels, or I don't know if he was at the post. He might have been at the post chapel on the base they were at in Okinawa. Young chaplain at the time. Panay Hart, Okinawa is pretty. We lived in the mainland. Okay. Well, I understand that all of Japan is pretty. When I flew in there and had to go from one airport to the other, I was hoping I was going to get to see the countryside and some of Japan, but they shield you from it when you're on the bus and you're not allowed to see anything. I don't know what that's all about, but if it's just being private or what, but they don't want you seeing the land between the two airports. Maybe it's security. Maybe somebody knows about that and can explain it to me. I don't know. But I was sad about that because I wanted to see more of Japan. Yeah, Rev. Fred March. Hi, Colonel. Well, good morning to you, Rev. Fred. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you stopping by. And oh wow, I just looked at the top of the screen. I see all the thumbs up. That's great. Thanks, folks. That really helps me out, and that pushes this live stream out to more people. And that way they get to see your comments, and they can listen to a little bit of what I'm saying. And I'm feeding off of what you're saying and answering the comments that you're making, which helps the live streams go better and be a little more interesting. If it's just me talking, I can be kind of dry and boring sometimes. I can be downright hilarious sometimes too, because usually I'm laughing at myself. Anyway, Panay Heart, we stayed in Camp Hansen when my husband had brain surgery. Okay, you got something in common with Skip. You all been on the same ground together. Bellish Traveler says he subbed to you, Panay Heart. I thought you already were subscribed to her. Okay, Panay Heart, thank you, Bellis. Reverend Fred March, hi, Bellis Traveler. Smash the like, Bella says. Thanks, brother. Let's see, J-Boy, which island have the prettier Filipinas? Wow. Right now, J-Boy, because I'm in Leyte, I'm going to have to say Leyte. Who would have thought? I used to say Mindanao, but I've never been to Mindanao. But I've seen some, photos and stuff of people in Leyte, and I thought it was really pretty young women. But now that I'm here, it's confirmed. It's confirmed. But you know what? This outside appearance, it all goes away in time, and it's what's in the heart. It's what's inside here, which is more important. The personality and whatnot. Now, I've also learned over the years, you don't marry somebody just for the personality. You got to have a little bit of that physical attraction. That's the way God made us. So you got to be physically attracted to a person a little bit, or attracted to something about them more than just the personality. And that's my thinking on it, and that's my experience. That's how I am, anyway. So, because what happens if there's no physical attraction, some of the other feelings can go away as adversity enters in. But that's why it's important to have a strong foundation and a strong relationship. I wish I could follow my own advice. I never have. Hence, I'm 61 years old and a single man. But Lord help me, I'm trying to get better. Trying to get better and trying to learn from my mistakes and my bad decisions. I have goals still. I don't know how much longer I'm going to live, but that doesn't mean I don't have goals. And I don't have dreams just like the rest of you. So let's get back to the important stuff, the comments. Yeah, Panay Heart's laughing at you, J-Boy. Hey, J-Boy, ha, ha, ha. Hi, Panay Heart at home from J-Boy. Panay says, before I was pregnant, I kept having a stomach ache. The only time I found out that I was pregnant because we have been married for 7 years and we want a referral for fertility doctor. And that's all I was saying about Karen. You just never know. I was talking to Jim, like, could she be pregnant? He said, I don't know. He goes, it's possible. I said, we'll probably need to get that checked out, and then we started teasing Karen about it a little bit, because it would be the first time for her, so everything's new. You guys got to remember, Karen is a young lady. She's 23 years old, so most of the stuff that's happening in her life now, it's all new for her, okay? Everything is new. Those of us that have been around the block a little, we've experienced all this, been down this road. I've been down that road 4 times. And, after the 4th one, my wife in America at the time, well, let's not even bring her up, man. Why'd I have to do that? Well, just never mind where I was going with that. Y'all don't need to know that anyway. Let's see. Then the day that we spoke to my primary doctor, she called me up and said that I was actually pregnant. It's weird. I didn't feel that I was pregnant. No morning sickness. That's my point, Panay Heart. You never know, and every woman's different. So you just don't know. You gotta check things out. And I know what you told me before too, in one of your comments that but you know what, you were blessed at that time, and hopefully you still feel blessed. I don't know all the situation, and I don't know what you had or how many kids you had or anything like that, but they always say children are a blessing from God. I always thought like it was a half blessing, half curse, but no, they are a blessing. I love, my children don't contact me much as they've gotten older and they have their own families. I mean, I've got 2 children that have 4 kids already, just like I had. So my children are busy. I get it. And I raised them to be independent human beings and independent adults and to take care of their own families. They don't need to worry about me. I want them to still love me, but they don't need to worried about me. Let's see. Hapa says, I have a feeling you will find your other half in Leyte, Colonel. Let you know a little secret. I'm working on it, man. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but I'm working on it. And if it does happen, the grief I'm gonna get from people on YouTube. It's just, I'm already preparing for it. It is what it is. But I don't know this is gonna work out. I'm working on a relationship. I won't lie about that. I have a relationship, but it's so new that, it's not even as cold as the breakfast that Mrs. Bellis just made. Let's see. I have a feeling. Okay, there. If the doctor didn't order a urine test that day, we won't find out that I was pregnant for almost 3 months. Wow. It's a good thing the doctor did that, huh? Norm, I'm off, Colonel. Need to call to. I'll jump back on later if you're still alive. Take care. I think, Norm, I'll probably be gone. I appreciate you being here and making comments and helping out everything and helping out the channel. I appreciate that, as I do each and every one of you. Hey, Colonel, from Jason Potter. Hey, Jason, how's things going with Jenny Lynn, Jason? Panay Hart. Hey, Jason Potter, hi. And Jason says hi back, Panay Hart. Skip says, well said, Colonel, about the personal relationship with Christ. Absolutely. Well, Skip, people say you're not supposed to talk about stuff like that on YouTube, but I would be remiss if I didn't put that out there every once in a while. And I'm not the greatest. Folks, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm the biggest evildoer and sinner there is, okay? In my opinion. I know what's in my heart. I know what the thoughts in my mind. But I also know that I'm forgiven for that, okay? And because of what God's done for us. And I would be remiss if I don't bring that up. And if you guys watch my channel, you watch my videos, you'll see as you guys would say, the religious element comes in there. But because that's, as a man and as a Christian, I feel like that's something I have to do. And you don't have to agree with me. I'm not telling you to agree with me. All I'm asking for is a little bit of respect, as I'm going to respect you, even if you're an atheist. I might not agree with you, but I'm still going to respect you as a person, because I'm commanded to do that. I might not hate what you do, but that doesn't mean I'm going to hate you. How do you think I spent my life around all those criminals all those years? I hated the behavior. I didn't hate the people. Wanted to hate the people, but I had to train myself. Hey, don't hate what they did. Don't hate who they are. Although they tried some. They pushed my buttons. I'm not going to lie. They pushed my buttons just like I pushed theirs too. So thanks for that, Skip. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the encouragement. You gave away my 69 Camaro. A salute at least, Colonel. Dude, I ain't giving away no 69 Camaro. Well, I can't say that, man. I even sold my Harley when I went to Thailand. I'd love to have a 69 Camaro. Ah, man. Yeah. Salute to the 69 Camaro, man. Absolutely. Or a Firebird. Good morning, Colonel, from James and Karen. Good morning, James and Karen Adventures. My dear friends.
Good morning.
Appreciate you. And Mrs. Bella says good morning too, James and Karen. Hi, James and Karen from Hapa. Rev Fred. Hi, James and Karen. Just everybody say hi to James and Karen. You got all Philly in the Philippines live stream. I got heated. Oh boy, James, I can only imagine, man. You know what Bella says? Slow down, cowboy. And like I say, chill out, man. Just chill out, man. You're not going to change the world with one state. I'm. You know what? I'm whistling in the wind. It don't matter. James is James. I'm not going to change him, and I don't want to change him. Hi, James and Karen. James, if you didn't hear, we were talking about whether Skip asked whether Karen's pregnant or not. So I did that rundown with him, and we all just wish the best, whether she is or not, for both of you guys. And when the time comes and the Lord blesses you, we're all gonna be behind you, man. I mean, it's all good. And the haters are gonna be the haters, but the people that like you, we're still gonna be behind you and support you. James says, up on ours, hi, James Karen. Hello, Rev from James. Hello, Hapa. I left Philly in the Philippines live. Okay, Panay Hart. You know what? You didn't have to do that, but thank you. I was over there too for a little bit, and because I like his attitude. So he's kind of like he's like me in a lot of ways. His delivery is more polished than mine, but I get where he's coming from because I've talked to him. If Army, he was probably at Torrey Station. You know what, Skip? I think you're right, man. I think, yeah, that sounds familiar. I think that's where he was at. Yeah, my dad was Army. I think that's where he was at. Yeah, because he was at the Post Chapel there. Okay, thanks for that, man. Appreciate that. Bruce Carroll, hi James and Karen. Good morning, Skip from James and Karen. My mom is from Palompon, Leyte. If I didn't have a stepmom raise me the way she is, I don't know how to keep a marriage. She never left my father with all the wrong things he did to her. Wow. Much respect, Panay Heart. Much respect. I wish yeah, I mean, I tried, but I failed. I tried in America, but I failed. And, through all the cheating and everything, not by me, but by her. And, but, final thing straw was from when she told me she wanted me to leave. And I didn't want to leave, but, well, part of me did, but the reality of it when it comes to marriage and things, I never wanted to be divorced. Never have. But it happened, and it's the way it is. I have to answer for that. You guys don't. But yeah, I appreciate that, Panay Hart. Good comment. Good comment. Matter of fact, I'm going to pin that one because that's a good comment. Where is it? There we go. All right. I hope that's okay, Panay Hart. If you want me to unpin that, I'll try to do that. My stepmom took care of us. She raised us. How importance of love your spouse no matter what. Yeah, I wish I was that strong, Panay Hart, but I wasn't. But good for them. Got to run, Colonel. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks, Skip. Appreciate you too. Keep in touch, my man. Keep in touch. We're over here waiting for you. Hapa 308. I feel like people will always hate for some odd reason. Guess the more people are jealous or hate what we are doing means we're doing a good job. There you go, Hapa. There you go. I'd have pinned that too, but I just pinned my heart, so that's a good comment too. Absolutely, I agree with you. Happy, yep, because they can't thrive and they hate that other people are thriving, but they won't do the work to get there. Amen. Yep, Panay from Hapa. Bruce Carroll, hey Colonel, amen, brother, spread it and let them hear the good news. Gotta go, dinner time. God bless you and your family later. Thanks, Bruce Carroll. Like I said, man, I'm not perfect, and you're gonna hear stuff come out of my mouth sometimes sideways, and I just ask forgiveness now for it because sometimes I got a brain cramp, and sometimes the evilness gets the best of me. I hate to admit that, but it's true. Hey, James and Karen. Good morning from Skip. Oh, I wonder what Philly in the Philippines was saying. Hapa asked. Well, he was talking about pro-life traveler and the stuff that's going on and what people are saying and things like that. That's what I got. Maybe a lot more was said after that, but when I was listening to him, that's what he was talking about, and talking about how people are capitalizing off of that. And I kind of commented on that when I started this. And I need to shut this down soon. It's been an hour and 18 minutes already. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. Panay Hart, I was a product of a husband that cheated his wife, but my stepmom chose love over hate. God bless her, Panay Hart. That's a good woman right there. I didn't have that. Well, no. Okay. I wasn't going to tell this story, but real quick. My ex-wife cheated on me a year and a half after we were married. Who would have thought? I met her in Bible college. Who would have thought? Had a son, and then she cheated on me. Who knows if she cheated on me before? I don't know. But that's when I caught her together with my quote-unquote best friend at the time. And then we separated. I was in Alaska. I sent her back to Pennsylvania. Got a call a month later. I'm pregnant. Like, well, why are you calling me? Call the father. Don't call me. No. And I'm like, well, you were doing both of us on the same day. How do you know? This, that, and the other one. But point of that story is I took her back. Okay? And I raised 3 more children with her. Don't know if they're mine or not. Really don't, in all honesty. One I'm pretty certain is. The other 2 I'm not. And my son I'm pretty certain. I know he looks too much like me. But the middle two, who knows? We never checked. Wanted to, but I didn't have the money at the time. So anyway, I stuck with her 25 years before we got divorced. I lived with her for 21 before she kicked me out. Took 4 years for the divorce to go through, and a lot of money on my part going to her. But it is what it is. Never met my biological mom, but I'm so thankful to God because I learned so much good things about her. Take care, Colonel. Oh, Panayar, I missed that. I missed that. That's not your biological mother. Hey, God bless her even more because I'm adopted. Okay, I wasn't raised by my biological mother, and quite honestly, I'm thankful I wasn't. Because knowing what I know, I was better off. God knew what He was doing. Happa says, "Dang, that's heavy stuff." Yeah, it is, Happa. My whole life is heavy stuff, man. But that's why I joke around so much. I make light of it because I've had a lot of heavy stuff happen in my life. But I've also had a blessed life on top of all that. But anyway, I still haven't told my whole story on YouTube, and I keep telling myself, sit down and do it, sit down and do it. But I don't want to bore people to death with my anecdotes and my stories about growing up and whatnot. But some of it's funny, some of it's pathetic, and some of it's just me being me. My mom used to say that, "Oh, I'm going to out myself. That's a Dougism. That's something Doug would say." Yeah, that's something I would say. Wow, Colonel, you are an amazing husband. She was the problem and not you. It took me many years, Panay. Thank you for that. Okay, first of all, I wasn't the greatest person. I was not the greatest husband or father. But it took me, for many years, I blamed myself. But then I realized, you know what? It's not me. It was her. She has many problems that she hadn't dealt with. And she had a boyfriend when I left, and they lived together for 10 years, and he broke up with her. I think and I'm not allowed to know why. My kids won't tell me. My children always side with their mom. But I think what happened was he asked her to marry him, and she said no. That's what I think happened, and so he kicked her out. But that's Maritas. I really don't know. Okay. But thank you for the kind words, Panay Hart. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that more than you know. Stone Cold. Oh, Stone Cold. He jumped on her when you did have the money. Patiently, paternity test didn't cross my mind all the time, Stone. But we just decided that it wasn't worth it. And there's a whole lot to that story now. Okay, my oldest daughter was not supposed to know, and then I found out later that she knew already, and then I was upset because let's just wait for those videos to come out. There's so much behind the scenes there, and I was livid. But anyway, and now after the fact, and I've talked to my children about it, and they're like, "Dad, you're dad. You raised us. You're still our dad. Doesn't matter. You might not be if you're not biologically, you raised us, and you're still our father." Now, my middle daughter, we never talked about it. It was just my conjecture because I look at her and I'm like, she's too pretty to be one of my kids, and I just don't think she looks like me. But who knows? And from what I understand from people telling me, my wife, she got around a little bit. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. And it's funny, if I talked to her 2 or 3 years ago, last time I talked to her, she won't answer my phone calls now. First time we talked in probably since the divorce, and because I chose not to talk to her anymore in my life. I didn't want her any part of my life because she caused many, many, many problems for me. And so, yeah, when I talked to her, she was kind of like we were never divorced, and like she never did anything. And I was just like, who is this lady? She still won't apologize for cheating on. I just don't get it. Whatever. Better to leave that stuff behind. Let's see. I've still had a blessed life. Let's see. But yeah, Stone Cold. I thought about it, brother. We just never did it. And by the time I had the money, it didn't matter. You are a cheerful person and funny. That only shows you enjoy life. Panay Hart. That's by choice. Okay. That's by choice. I could let everything get me down, but why? And quite honestly, I'm still blessed. Even in the bad times, I'm still blessed. That's just me. It's the way I look at life. It's the way you have to look at life. Happa, you didn't deserve that, Colonel. Sorry those people cheated on you. Hey, Happa, I'm not perfect either, brother. Okay? But we all have to answer for the wrong that we do. I got attitude sometimes, and I say nasty things to people. I was like the king of the cut downs back in the day. And yeah, I'm not perfect by any means. I don't ever want to be a cheater though. But we all lie and we all cheat in certain ways. There's other ways of cheating besides in a marriage. Um, so I don't proclaim to be better than her or better than anybody else because I wasn't. But life's about choices. I always say life's about choices. And you can make the choice you want to make, but you got to live with it. But thank you, Hapa, for saying that too. Appreciate that, man. There's a limit on, this is from Panayar, there's a limit on kindness and forgiveness. They will never learn until you have to leave. Yeah, but Panayar, look at the example you had. She didn't leave. So God bless her. That's true, Colonel Hapa says. All right, folks, I'm down to the bottom. I'm gonna end it here because I've been an hour and 25 minutes over. Yeah, almost an hour and 26 minutes. I appreciate each and every one being here. And I have more thumbs up than I have people that are still listening. So that's great for the algorithms. That's great for the channel because I'm just growing. I'm not monetized or anything. And that's not my goal. Honestly, y'all may not believe that, but that's not my goal. And I'm okay. I do just fine income wise. But I appreciate y'all being here. I'm going to sign off and I'm going to go hang out with the Bellis family some more. Maybe walk down the road and visit somebody special. Wink, wink. And say hello and see how they're doing and whatnot. And I'll keep you posted until next time. Yeah, Panahar, you have a wonderful day too. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless. And the Colonel is out.